The pool deck was still wet from the morning rain when my brother Marcus decided his birthday party needed more excitement. I saw him coming toward me with that look, the one that always preceded pain disguised as fun. At 22, I should have been able to defend myself against my 24-year-old brother, but years of being called dramatic and oversensitive had taught me that resistance only made things worse. "Hey, birthday boy wants to show everyone his wrestling moves," Marcus announced to his friends, who laughed and pulled out their phones. My stomach dropped. His wrestling moves were never playful, but our parents had spent years convincing everyone I just couldn't take a joke. "Marcus, please not today," I said, trying to back away from the pool's edge. "I'm wearing my work clothes." "Work clothes?" He scoffed. "You mean your pathetic retail uniform? Come on, Eli, stop being such a buzzkill. It's my birthday." I tried to move toward the house, but he grabbed my arm. His grip was crushing, fingers digging into my skin with practiced cruelty. His friends cheered him on, thinking this was all part of some sibling rivalry show. "Marcus, you're hurting me," I said quietly, not wanting to make a scene. I'd learned that public complaints only led to worse punishments later. "Hurting you?" He laughed, that cold sound I'd heard throughout my childhood. "I haven't even started yet. Remember when we were kids? The airplane spin." My blood ran cold. The airplane spin was what he called it when he'd grab my wrists and spin me around until I was dizzy and disoriented, then let go. As children, it ended with scraped knees and bruises. But we weren't children anymore, and we were next to a concrete pool deck. "No." I tried to pull away, but he was already spinning me. His friends laughed and recorded, thinking they were witnessing harmless fun between siblings. The world became a blur of colors and sounds. I heard my mother's voice from the patio. "Oh, they're at it again. Boys will be boys." Then he let go. Time seemed to slow as I flew backward. I saw the horror dawn on one of his friends' faces as they realized I was heading straight for the concrete steps leading down from the pool deck. I tried to twist, to catch myself, to do anything, but momentum and dizziness made it impossible. My lower back hit the edge of the top step with a sickening crack that seemed to echo across the yard. Pain unlike anything I'd ever experienced shot through my body like lightning. Then nothing. No feeling in my legs. No sensation below my waist. I lay at the bottom of the steps, my upper body twisted at an awkward angle, unable to move my legs at all. The party fell silent for a moment before Marcus's laughter cut through it. "Dude, that was epic. Did you guys get that on video?" He high-fived his nearest friend before finally looking down at me. "Get up, drama queen. The ground isn't that comfortable." "I can't," I whispered, panic rising in my throat. "Marcus, I can't move my legs." "Oh, here we go," my father's voice boomed as he strode over. "Every time we have a party, Eli has to make it about himself. Get up." "Dad, I can't move my legs," I repeated louder this time. Tears were streaming down my face, both from pain and fear. "Something's really wrong." "Walk it off, stop being a baby," my father yelled, his face red with embarrassment and anger. "You're embarrassing us in front of guests." My mother appeared, wine glass in hand, looking annoyed. "Eli, stop being dramatic. You're ruining Marcus's birthday. He only turns 24 once." "I can't feel my legs," I screamed, the terror finally breaking through my conditioned silence. Marcus nudged me with his foot. "Come on, get up. The joke's over." That's when Sarah, one of Marcus's friends who was in nursing school, pushed through the crowd. "Wait, don't touch him." She knelt beside me, her face serious. "Eli, can you feel this?" She touched my leg. Nothing. She tried the other leg. Still nothing. Her face went pale. "Nobody move him. Where's your phone? We need to call 911 now." "Oh, come on," my father started, but Sarah cut him off. "Sir, he could have a spinal injury. If you move him, you could cause permanent damage." She was already dialing. "This is Sarah Kim. I need an ambulance at 452 Maple Drive. Possible spinal injury from a fall." "This is ridiculous," my mother slurred. "He's fine. He always does this for attention." But I wasn't fine. I lay there, unable to feel half my body, while my parents complained about the drama I was causing. Marcus had gone quiet, his face uncertain as his friends whispered among themselves, some still recording. The paramedics arrived within minutes, though it felt like hours. The lead paramedic, a woman with kind eyes and steady hands, immediately took charge. "Sir, can you tell me what happened?" "My brother spun me and threw me into the concrete steps," I said, my voice shaking. "I can't feel my legs." "He's exaggerating," my father interjected. They were just playing around. The paramedic ignored him, focusing on me. Can you wiggle your toes? I tried. Nothing happened. She exchanged a look with her partner that made my heart sink. As they carefully secured me to a backboard, the paramedic made a call that changed everything. This is Unit 47. We need police backup at our location. Possible assault resulting in paralysis. Assault! My mother shrieked. This is our home. Our son just fell. Ma'am, the victim stated he was thrown. Given the severity of the injury and the mechanism described, we're required to report this. The police arrived as they were loading me into the ambulance. I heard my father arguing with them, insisting it was a family matter, an accident, boys being boys. But Sarah, bless her, was giving her statement to an officer, and several party guests were showing the videos they'd taken. At the hospital, everything moved quickly. The emergency room doctor, Dr. Patterson, looked at me with the same kind eyes as the paramedic. Eli, I need you to be completely honest with me. Has your brother hurt you before? The question broke something in me. Years of being told I was dramatic, oversensitive, a liar. It all came pouring out. Yes, I sobbed. But my parents always said I was making a big deal out of nothing. She nodded, making notes. We're going to take excellent care of you. But first, we need to do an MRI to see exactly what we're dealing with. The MRI results would haunt me forever. Dr. Patterson returned with another doctor, a neurosurgeon named Dr. Williams, and their faces were grave. Eli, Dr. Williams began gently, the MRI shows a fracture to your L2 vertebra with compression of the spinal cord. But that's not all we found. He pulled up the images on the screen. You have multiple old compression fractures in various stages of healing. Your T7, T11, and L4 vertebrae all show previous trauma. I stared at the screen, not understanding. Old fractures? These injuries, Dr. Patterson explained, they didn't happen today. Some are months old, some possibly years. Eli, has your brother been physically aggressive with you for a long time? I thought back to all the pranks over the years. Being pushed downstairs, you're so clumsy. Being body slammed during play fights, boys will be boys. Being thrown off the trampoline, stop being such a baby. Each time, my back had hurt for weeks, but my parents refused to take me to the doctor, insisting I was being dramatic. Yes, I whispered. Since we were kids. Detective Morrison arrived an hour later. She was thorough, professional, and most importantly, she believed me. The videos from the party clearly show your brother intentionally throwing you toward those steps, she said. Combined with the medical evidence of repeated trauma, we're looking at a pattern of assault. Will I walk again? I asked Dr. Williams. With surgery and intensive physical therapy, we're optimistic. But Eli, if this had gone untreated, if your parents had convinced you to walk it off as they suggested. He shook his head. You could have been permanently paralyzed. My parents were arrested that night. The charge, child endangerment and failure to provide medical care. It turned out that in our state, allowing ongoing abuse and denying medical treatment was a felony, especially when it resulted in serious injury. Marcus was charged with aggravated assault. The videos from his birthday party, meant to capture a funny moment, instead showed clear evidence of an intentional attack that resulted in serious bodily harm. My extended family was split. Some rallied around my parents, insisting it was all a misunderstanding, that I was overreacting as always. But others, particularly my Aunt Linda, came forward with their own concerns they'd been too afraid to voice. I always worried, she told me during a hospital visit. The way they dismissed your injuries, the way Marcus seemed to enjoy hurting you. But your parents were so convincing, always having an explanation. The surgery to stabilize my spine was successful, but recovery was brutal. 6 months of physical therapy, learning to walk again, dealing with the psychological trauma of both the injury and years of abuse. My therapist, Dr. Garcia, helped me understand that the physical abuse was only part of it. Gaslighting, she explained. They conditioned you to doubt your own pain, your own experiences. That's why you didn't seek help sooner. During the trial, the MRI images were displayed for the jury. Dr. Williams testified about the old fractures, explaining how each one would have caused significant pain and required medical attention. The prosecutor asked him what would happen to a child who was repeatedly injured and denied medical care. They would learn to live with chronic pain, he said. They would internalize the message that their suffering doesn't matter. It's a form of torture, frankly. My parents' defense attorney tried to paint me as a clumsy child who was prone to accidents. but the videos from Marcus's party were damning. You could see him calculating the angle, see the intentional release aimed at the concrete steps, hear my parents dismissing my paralysis as attention-seeking. Marcus was sentenced to 5 years in prison for aggravated assault. My parents each received 3 years for child endangerment and criminal neglect. The judge's words rang through the courtroom. Parents have a fundamental duty to protect their children and provide medical care. You not only failed in this duty, but actively participated in and covered up ongoing abuse. It's been 2 years now. I can walk again, though I'll always have some pain and limitations. I live in my own apartment, work as a patient advocate at the hospital where I was treated, and speak at conferences about recognizing child abuse in medical settings. My brother wrote me a letter from prison once. No apology, just complaints about how I'd ruined his life. I didn't respond. My parents, released early for good behavior, tried to contact me through relatives, claiming they'd been misunderstood, that they'd only wanted to toughen me up. I've learned that toughening up shouldn't involve spinal fractures. That boys being boys shouldn't end in paralysis. That being called dramatic shouldn't prevent you from getting medical care. The MRI images from that day are part of my medical file, but they represent more than just injury. They're proof that I wasn't crazy, wasn't dramatic, wasn't oversensitive. They're evidence that sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones causing the most harm. Sarah, the nursing student who called 911, is now a practicing nurse. We've stayed in touch, and she told me that my case changed how she approaches patient care. I always listen now, she said. When someone says they're hurt, I believe them. That's all I ever wanted, to be believed. It took paralysis and MRI evidence to get it, but now I use my voice to ensure others don't have to wait that long. Because no one should have to prove their pain with broken vertebrae. No one should be told to walk it off when they can't walk at all. The truth captured in those black and white images set me free. Even if that freedom came at the cost of learning to walk again.